What's going on there, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Blake's Take with me, Blake Neiman. And it had been over 2 decades since the Seattle Mariners last made the MLB postseason. For a city that resides in the Pacific Northwest, where rain is routinely present, there has been an extreme drought in terms of the postseason appearances for the Mariners. However, the drought that has been running this franchise dry was finally put to an end in miraculous fashion. With a full count, 2 outs, and a 1-1 ballgame in the bottom of the ninth, Cal Riley, with a T-Mobile Park filled to the brim, sat back on an off-speed pitch and ripped it high and far down the left field line into the history books. The build-up to this historic moment on the final day of September in the year 2022 was more than immense. The Mariners slowly but surely returned to prominence after a 90-win season last year, which led into this year with many returners. However, the emergence of young rookie all-star Julio Rodriguez is what finally put the M's over the hump. Rodriguez had a rapid start to the season with a stat line of a .275 batting average, 16 home runs, and 16 RBIs that led him to being selected as an all-star, and he ended up being a finalist in this year's Home Run Derby. Not only that, but he helped turn the skidding Mariners into the hottest team in baseball at one point, posting 14 straight wins going into the All-Star break, flipping the script of their season as they looked ahead into the second half in hopes of a playoff position. The hot 50-win first half is what helped give the Mariners some wiggle room in the second half of the season, where they have been slightly above a .500 ball club. After Friday night's miracle, the Mariners sit at an 86-70 record on the year, and with only 5 games left, they may or may not even surpass the 90-win season they had in 2021. But that's baseball. Some years competition is fiercer, and other years it isn't. Thankfully for the Mariners, they have gotten some help from other teams in the wildcard race, along with a little bit of luck to clinch their spot in the postseason. With now the longest active playoff drought in North American sports coming to a close, where does Seattle go from here? Well, there are still a lot of implications that come with those final 5 games on the Mariners' schedule, as the results could determine whether or not the M's would get the support of their ever-loyal and passionate Seattle fanbase. The M's are currently 2.5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays for the top wildcard spot, which is who they would need to surpass in order to host the wildcard round for the American League. As I just mentioned, this fan base is as passionate as any you will find, as the resurgence of the Mariners this season has already led to an explosion at the ticket office, with the Mariners already being sold out for the first 2 games of the wildcard series, the AL Divisional Series, and then the first 2 games of the ALCS. While the rest of the regular season and the playoffs are filled with uncertainties, one thing is for certain, and that is the Seattle Mariners are going to be playing somewhere in a wildcard game on October 7th. Regardless of the outcome, I think fans can tip their cap to this team and the general management in the front office for finally having that monkey lifted off their back. We'll see how the Mariners keep doing from here. A lot of fans excited for what the Mariners' future is looking like. Julio Rodriguez locked in on that contract, so whether or not they are successful in the postseason, just the first step in just eliminating the drought and getting that monkey off their back is a huge step in the right direction for this franchise, and I'm excited to see what the future holds in Seattle with all this young talent upcoming, and there's no telling what the future can hold after this monkey is lifted off their back. It's a burden that can weigh a franchise and start just reoccurring in their minds and really just haunting them and daunting them, and then fans will start rioting and start pointing out general management mistakes, and it becomes a very bad situation. But now that there's success coming back to Seattle, it's a much better environment, and I'm excited to see what they'll do the rest of this season, because it's not over, and then obviously in the years to come, with especially that promising young prospect, Julio Rodriguez, who's basically that lock for Rookie of the Year this year. So hope y'all enjoyed. I'll keep up on how the Mariners do this postseason, as well as all the MLB postseason action that is just around the corner here on Blake's Take. You can catch me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or YouTube. Subscribe and like for more to stay up to date on all the local and national sports, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful day.